Hi, I'm Transapient, and welcome to part 2 of Transapient's Top 30 Godzilla Movies, this time 20 through 11. I will provide links to parts 1 in the description below, as well as to part 3 when it's done too. So be sure to check out part 1 first, if you please, and that would probably make the most sense and stuff. But whatever, let's get right into this. The middle children. At number 20, we have Godzilla Tokyo SOS. Now, this is a really fitting, or at least I felt it was really fitting into, or satisfying into the Kiryu's story, this version of Mechagodzilla. And it's cool to see them all together, like, Kiryu, Godzilla, Mothra. It's great, scenes and stuff, but I don't know. I always felt like they didn't do as much as they could have. Like, it's still all stuff that we've kind of seen before. Like, Mothra still ends up getting killed, and her twin larvae encapsulate Godzilla in their, cocoons and stuff. I mean, it still looks good. I mean, it's obviously updated technology and effects and stuff. But it would have been interesting to see like Mothra interact more with Kiryu and stuff like that, Still, at least I can say that it feels like, or at least looking back on it, it feels like the battles and the fight scenes lasted a real long time. So I guess there's that, So anyway, 19 we have Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. This one and the other are kind of on even ground-ish for me. This one I think might beat out the previous one just a little bit, because I don't know. Like the battles and stuff, or the fight between Kiryu and Godzilla, and the whole character of Kiryu himself, him being, basically the original Godzilla sort of reborn. They use his skeleton and he's kind of trapped, and his psyche's kind of trapped in there trying to get out and stuff. I thought that was all really nice and stuff. Added a cool other layer, I guess, to the fights and stuff. And like what they did with the Absolute Zero thing, like I remember when I first watched this, I was like really kind of on the edge of my seat, so to use that old saying, because when you see how destructive that could be, and like how they almost got used at the end, I was like, holy crap, I don't want either of them to really die, I guess, but still, as with many of these earlier movies, the human scenes are still kind of bland-ish, with the exception of, I actually like the lead female character. I can't remember her name, but she's actually presented as this really like cold and very no nonsense kind of thing. There's even a part where like there's this little girl who has like a plant for a pet and stuff. I wonder when those were a fad. But anyway, and she's like, well, that's just gonna die anyway or something, And I'm like, well, geez, fine, you B word. I'm gonna try to keep this channel mostly rated G. G for Godzilla. But still, I thought that it's interesting to I kind of compare her sorta with Godzilla and stuff. So interesting to think that like maybe one of the reasons she hates Godzilla or has this vendetta against Godzilla so much is maybe she, on a subconscious level, maybe even sees part of herself or in Godzilla, but then again, don't we all? But anyway, so yeah, number 18, we have Terror of Mechagodzilla. This one is interesting because, didn't the one of the original directors, Ishiro Honda, isn't he the one who directed like the final entry of the show era? Because it feels, because you can tell that it's kind of going for a more darker-ish kind of storyline, like Titanosaurus, who did nothing of his own free will. He was just mind controlled into destroying things, but he gets killed off at the end anyway. And the mad scientist, he's kind of with his daughter. She's, being controlled by the aliens. They turned her into a robot, sorta. And he gets killed. She commits suicide to stop Mechagodzilla. So it's surprisingly kind of a downer ending to, ironically, the most lighthearted of the series. But anyway, I feel like I probably would have enjoyed this a lot better if I had seen this when I was little, and it had some nostalgia factor to it. But even so, still watching it, it's pretty all right. I will say that when we first see Godzilla, like, to all G fans who've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. We first see him, and that ominous music and stuff starts playing when he shows down with Titanosaurus. That was awesome. Like, that's probably the most epic and awesome, like, entrances of not just the Showa period, but of all of Godzilla's movies so far. And then it just cuts right away from the battle, just like Godzilla 2014. So see, nothing really changes. Anyway, number 17, we have Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. And yeah, I've mentioned in my previous video that I've not exactly the biggest fan of the Heisei movies, because even though, like, I can tell that they were, trying to be more darker and serious, but it never really came off really that way to me. But with this one, it doesn't feel like that. With this one, it feels like they weren't being so serious, so I can have a bit more fun with it. Like, this is definitely fun to be had here. Like, even though Godzilla, like, gets his brains blasted out and Rodan dies and whatnot, but still pretty fun. Also, like, like, one of the main human characters, I love heckling him. I can't remember his name. But he's the one who does that. Of course, that aerodynamic nightmare that was that pterodactyl tricycle plane or something. But he's the one who really likes pterodactyls, and I just remember when one of the times we first see him, he's like he's like in an interview, and like the interviewee or the interviewer or whatever, the boss man's like, "What? You are interested in pterodactyls?" And he's like, "Yes, they're small flying dinosaurs." And like, well, yeah, even though pterosaurs or pterodactyls are pterosaurs, not dinosaurs. And the other guy, I just love his reaction. He's like, "Flying dinosaurs. Ha! I laugh at your flying dinosaurs." Even though there's actually thousands of species of flying dinosaurs around today, known as birds, but that's beside the point. So yeah, definitely a high point of the Heisei series for me. Anyway, number 16 is Godzilla Raids Again, aka Gigantus, the fire monster, because I guess they didn't want to accept that there was another Godzilla running around. But I never quite, or I don't quite get why this isn't considered all that all that good for most Godzilla fans. Well, I could sorta, because you can tell that with some of the issues they had in filming, they didn't like slow down a lot of the monster fights, so it looks like they're kind of puppets, just rapidly gouging at each other. I was kind of, and it is weird, sort of, but I can kind of look past it. It kind of reminds me of, that fight between the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus and Fantasia, which, by the way, best part in the whole movie, that scene. But yeah, and actually, this is actually one of the only Godzilla movies where I'm actually invested in the human story. I know that's kind of weird to hear, but it's the guy's name Kobayashi. He's one of the only Godzilla human characters I actually remember the name of. But He's the one who, he's one of the pilots, and he's the one who bites the dust at the end trying to take out Godzilla. His plane crashes, and from there they figure out they bury Godzilla in the ice and stuff. I was bummed when he went out. I mean, but he has made a noble sacrifice and whatnot. And actually, I had a weird moment when I still remember when I was watching Godzilla 2014 for the first time. You know that scene where the male Muto is breaking out of his cocoon, he's tearing everything up, and there's a shot of this guy who's like one of the workers who's like trapped in this crane, and the Muto pulls it down into the pit. In my mind, I thought he's kind of a chubby Asian looking guy, and in my mind I thought when I saw him go down, I'm like, there goes Kobayashi again. Here's to you, Kobayashi. Anyway, at number 15 we have Destroy All Monsters. The name alone is what makes it worth it. So number 14 is, well, I suppose I should talk about this a little more. Again, this isn't one of the ones that I saw a lot when I was a kid, or even at all, really. But it's definitely easy to see why this is a high point in the Showa era. Definitely the one that's the most epic in scope and stuff, with the whole Monster Island and the invasion thing, and all of them getting together to take on King Ghidorah at the end. Definitely all worth it and stuff. Even though there's a couple parts that kind of drag for me, but also a few funny parts that, like, remember the guy who's like being one of the guys who's being mind controlled, and he walks out of the building and just walks off the window, and I'm like, that is why people under suspected alien mind control should be restrained. That scene was also really well artistically shot, by the way. I don't know why I remember that, but also, with the whole with all the monsters fighting Ghidorah, like everyone remembers Anguirus, latching on, and Gorosaurus's kick and stuff like that. But who remembers Kumanga helping Mothra, try to spin a web around him and stuff? Like, how come no one ever remembers when the time Kumanga did her part to save the Earth and stuff? Oh well. Anyway. At number 14, we have the Michael Bay-ified version of that movie, Godzilla Final Wars. At least that's what I got. I'm glad that I found one with the title here, so that way I didn't have to type one myself. But yeah, this one for me is just fun, just a fun watch. And I guess there isn't really much else to say after that. It's just fun. I mean, that's probably what something similar to what the directors thought too. But yeah, I've always kind of viewed this as basically like Godzilla's birthday present and stuff. Like, it obviously was made in 2004. That's what is it? That's 50 years, right? 54, 64, 74, 84, 94. Yeah, so he's half century old at this point, and let's just have a party, obviously I'm probably not gonna be able to go further in depth, as to how go into detail, pick everything apart, and be like how objective is all the individual components of the movie compared to how I personally feel about it and stuff like that. I'm just trying to just for this list, it's just as basic a summary as I'm trying to do. So yeah, this one's just fun for me. Anyway, number 13, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Unlucky number 13, man. Anyway, this was actually weirdly the first Heisei movie I saw shortly after finding out that a Heisei or period of Godzilla movies existed. And I know, I guess that sort of spoiled myself for the whole series, kind of, because this is, what it all kind of led up to. But So that may have a reason as to why it's definitely higher on the list for most Heisei movies. Because this one actually feels the most effective in being much darker and more somber in tone, with the countdown to Godzilla dying and stuff, and the rise of Destroya and whatnot. So yeah, really nice movie, this one. Alright, excuse me, number 12, we have Godzilla versus Gigan. I loved watching this as a kid. This is one of the ones that I had that we would watch, over and over again a lot. And even though, of course, now I know that they were obviously working on less of a budget, lots of the effects are kind of, and there's some stock footage and stuff used from other movies. Like, this is the one where I first saw Anguirus, holding on by Ghidorah's neck as he flew up and stuff. But still, it's still awesome to see, because that's what really cemented Anguirus' character for me. And of course, Gigan, he's a cool guy, and it was I guess having seen this so many times, I'm even not really all that bored through the human parts too. It's easy to have fun with them too, because as I said, I've seen it a lot. So yeah, this is definitely a highlight for me. And number 11, Son of Godzilla. Now, I know this is another one that I remember having watched a ton of times as a kid, and I know that probably a lot of this one's definitely very divisive, because of media mostly and stuff, whether or not you love or hate him and stuff. Or me, I don't really mind him. He's not exactly my favorite Godzilla character, of course, but I don't really mind. I'm not exactly someone who it's rare for me to actually hate a character and stuff. Mostly it's just I don't mind, or if they're annoying or something like that, I mean, unless they're portrayed as an evil character or something, that was where you would hate them and stuff, But yeah, I really liked the setup of this movie, and the island and the insects waking up, Kumonga waking up, and them all just kind of vying for territory and food and stuff. It almost felt like an ecosystem playing out to me, or at least that's how I now kind of see it. So yeah, definitely an old favorite for me, and that takes number 1 at number 11, sort of, at in part 2 of my Godzilla movie countdown. So that is all for now, and let me know what you guys think, as always. Which Godzilla movies are more on your kind of list, I see the next one will of course be the final entry in this little series, and that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.